Hey, this is Numerology. I got a couple requests in my YouTube account to do a tutorial or basically discuss the changes in 5.3 regarding Subtlety Rogues. And I've done a combat guide, I've done an assassination guide, and I did that on purpose because I don't want to do the most mainstream spec, but I'll do it because people want it. So this entire video is going to be about the changes in short, quote, shirt, unquote, that are going to be happening with subtlety rogues. So here we go. All right, so discussing the physical changes before I show you in gameplay what the changes are. The patch notes are already out and stuff like that. We have 3 different changes that are quite important, but there's also a 4th one that regards glyphs. So the first major change for subtlety, especially subtlety because this talent applies towards its shadow dance, is cloak and dagger. Cloak and dagger now requires the target to be in stealth. Cloak and dagger now requires the rogue to be in stealth. Shadow dance will not remove the stealth requirement for cloak and dagger. Cloak and dagger now requires the rogue to be in stealth. Shadow dance will not remove the stealth requirement for cloak and dagger. So as you know, the best, incredible, awesome, godly part of cloak and dagger was the fact that during shadow dance you could AoE crowd control pretty much everything. And for RBGs, this was just so overpowered, ridiculous. You have an infinite gap closer. For me, for my subtlety spec, I would take subterfuge, and if I were fighting a mage, I'd cheap shot just so he'd blink away, just so I'd Garrett in ambush, and he'd never get away from me. And cloak and dagger is just ridiculous for that. But basically, you're no longer going to be able to teleport around in shadow dance, which is the key point of having cloak and dagger, in my opinion. I think it's going to be removed pretty quickly. Shuriken Toss now deals 100% more damage in their initial ranged attack. Damage is no longer doubled when used on targets further than 10 yards away, and the energy cost has been increased to 40 energy, up from 20. So basically they made this, I liked what it was at the beginning, dude. It was so much better. The point of having that was to slow the target down so that you could keep up with them. Or maybe even kite in some circumstances. So I mean, they turn it into a damage attack, which I feel is just retarded. You don't need a ranged melee. A rogue doesn't need to have that ranged capability. I say they keep it at 20, reduce the damage a little bit, not a little bit, but significantly, and make it apply the passive poisons except for mind numbing. Well, I'm gonna go over quickly the reforging that you might want to have as a subtlety rogue. And I have mastery as my primary stat, and then I have crit. And when I say primary stat, I mean, of course, after agility, PvP power, and PvP resilience. As for gems, I'm a lot of hybrids. I have a lot of half and half. I'll put my armory in the description. You could just see it from there. I'll put my armory in the description. You could just see it from there. Boom. This is my assist macro. When I'm in RBGs, this guy right here, Frost ZZ, he's my target caller. So this targets the target that he is targeting. Let's say he's targeting a Disc Priest. This will automatically go to that Disc Priest if he says, oh hey, kill the Disc Priest. So I have other basic macros. I have slash cast, ambush, and pre-med. Cheap shot, pre-med. And Garrett pre-med. And I also have sat pre-med. This is my Tricks of the Trade macro. Target player 1 in my party, it's going to give him Tricks of the Trade automatically. This is my Focus Blind macro. I could be targeting one guy and I could blind the other without having to switch targets, which is time consuming. And so this is the point of having that. And this is my Poison macro. It just basically, you see how these icons change on my bar when I press Alt? So if I press no mod, I'm going to be casting Wound. And if I press Alt, I'll be casting Deadly. Whereas if I press shift, I'll cast Paralytic, and I pretty much don't want any other poison besides Paralytic. Therefore, this is how that macro works, and if you guys want closer looks at them, I'll put them in the description for you. This is my prep cloak. So basically, no, this is not the correct macro. This is my prep cloak. My vanish cloak, rather. I press 6, I cloak, I press shift 6 on the same bar. You don't see vanish anywhere else on my bar. This will be my vanish when I press shift. Notice how the spell changes when I press shift. So this is basically time saving, space saving, whatever have you. This is my Shadow Dance macro. Shadow Dance, use Burst Trinket. This is my sap macro. This is going to find people around me and I'll sap them automatically. It's how I find rogues and ferals all the time. You need this. These are essential. This is essential macro. For arenas, I have target arena 1, target arena 2, target arena 3. This is a dud. I'm going to get rid of this one. Target arena 3. This is my assist macro for another target caller. This is my Tricks of the Trade macro before it was useful. And this is my Grats macro. Grats. Grazzles. And by the way, this is kind of what Shuriken Toss is looking like. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick. I almost don't want to take it because it's just that fucking crazy.
I don't have enough
35k crits, man. 35k crits. Sick. Antique. Do you like my fish? Oh, well fuck, that's a turtle, ain't it? Well then. I'm not gonna tell you how to play your rogue. I can't do that. I won't do that. That's shitty. But I will say that the more you play, the more you'll understand the class. And right now, rogues are pretty fucking cheap, so you're gonna be doing just fine, I think. My advice: don't play feral. Don't ever play a feral. Please, don't ever play a feral druid. And that's pretty much it. I just had to discuss some things with you guys and tell me what you guys thought of it. Thank you. Have a good day.